The Los Angeles Lakers, a team who coming into the 2019-2020 NBA season saw one of the biggest roster overhauls that we had saw in quite some time. A season before, the Lakers had just got LeBron James, and coming into the 2019-2020 NBA season, they had just got Anthony Davis. Two big-time superstar players in the last 2 years alone. Quite the overhaul for the Los Angeles Lakers. But in the eyes of many, it wasn't just that they got LeBron James and Anthony Davis. It was, what did the Lakers have to give up to make this happen? Some people, they were in the camp of, who cares? It's LeBron James and Anthony Davis. You would be hard-pressed to name a better duo in the NBA currently. A transcendent, versatile big man in Anthony Davis, who can literally do everything on the basketball floor. Everything including being one of the best defenders in the NBA currently. Anthony Davis is a legit threat for Defensive Player of the Year. Oh, and he doesn't sacrifice offense like some of the league's other top defenders. So when he's on the floor, you have to respect him because he can give you 30 on any given night. And he can do it in a lot of different ways. Obviously, Davis's impact goes far beyond the box score. A lot of times when you say something like that, the players don't have the numbers, but nah, this ain't the case. Maybe that's why the Lakers gave up so much to go out and get AD. They saw opportunity. And then you have LeBron James. And we'll get into that in just a second. But first, let's get a word from today's video sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by Cove. One thing I absolutely love is music. And for a music lover, what's better than a portable Bluetooth speaker with dumb good quality? In sports, sometimes they say your best ability is availability. Well, I guess you can say the same goes for music. The Commuter 2.0 is where it's at. Its sleek design allows you to take it basically anywhere. This thing has almost as much range as a Stephen Curry jump shot. The speaker can be up to 32 feet away from mobile devices or computers and play without any interruption. Its powerful subwoofer will blow you away, and its battery is good for up to 7 hours. I use the Commuter 2.0 all the time when I'm gaming. It helps set the right vibe. And if I had a pool, I'd use it there too, because it is water resistant, meaning it's great next to the pool, but not in it. You can get the Commuter 2.0 now 65% off by clicking the link in the description and using code DCOOP at checkout. That's a $200 speaker for only $70. That's tough to beat. Perhaps what you could say would be tougher to beat would be the Los Angeles Lakers this season. Sitting on top of the Western Conference, the Lakers and LeBron James have been hands down the best team in the Western Conference. And they've looked like the best team in basketball for stretches of this season. And LeBron, in his age 35 season, have been looking like the best player in the entire NBA. And that's not to sleep on what Giannis and the Bucks were doing. A lot of people still have Giannis as their MVP. And the Bucks, what they were doing this season was downright historic. But it seemed like the Bucks were finally starting to cool down a little bit. This team that looked unbeatable finally looked beatable. While the Los Angeles Lakers, this is a team that was arguably playing its best basketball all season. In the Lakers' last 27 games, they were 24-3. Despite being this good, despite the Lakers being 24-3 in their last 27 games, the roster still has glaring problems. The problems that the Lakers roster has, though, these are fixable problems. The Lakers could possibly go into next season and be fine with the roster that they currently have. But the best teams in the NBA, they're always looking for ways to get better. They're always looking for ways to improve. Coop, are you really going to bring the Warriors up again? Yes, because are the Warriors a dynasty if they're not a team that's constantly improving, looking for the next slant, looking to be ahead of the curve, looking for ways to constantly get better? The two biggest issues with the Lakers roster, they need another playmaker. They need somebody who can relieve LeBron James of his playmaking duties in long stretches. LeBron James at 35 years old, he's not getting any younger. And in order for him to play as many more years as possible at a very high level, he's going to need some help with playmaking on the offensive end. Don't get it confused. We know that he can do it, but we want LeBron to be playing basketball and playing basketball at the level he's at for a very long time. Not only do the Lakers need a playmaker, but they also need a perimeter defender. They need somebody who can go out and guard the other team's best players, the other team's best wings. Yes, I know they have Avery Bradley who can step in and do this at times, but sometimes the size difference is just too much to overcome. And how could I forget another consistent scorer off the bench in the starting lineup would go a long way. Now, this is where things start to get fun. Recently, Carmelo Anthony went on record and said Chris Paul, Dwayne Wade, LeBron, and himself all share the same dream of playing together. Unfortunately, right now, Dwayne Wade is retired. So him coming back, that's a whole different discussion that I'm not going to get into right now. Coming into this season, Chris Paul and Carmelo Anthony, there have been legit conversations and rumors regarding these two players and the Los Angeles Lakers. Carmelo Anthony has put together one of the best feel-good stories this NBA season. He's been an absolute bucket and bona fide scorer that has helped to turn around the Portland Trail Blazers season. Averaging 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists, he gives you offensive firepower in a very big way. He's 35, but he sure doesn't play like it. If the Lakers did get Carmelo, it would be a near perfect situation. He would get a lot of open looks, but not only would he get a lot of open looks, they would be able to hide him defensively if he would be playing poor defense. In stretches for the Blazers, he's looked competent to actually pretty good on defense. But these come in stretches, and when he's locked in, LA would be able to hide him in a sense. With two of the best shot blockers and interior defenders in the NBA being JaVale McGee and Anthony Davis. The Lakers, they currently have the third best defensive rating in the entire NBA. Though Melo never formally called LeBron and asked him for a spot on the Lakers, I think it's safe to say that LeBron would go to bat for Melo no matter what, and that the two have had interest in playing with each other since high school. In 2018, LeBron was quoted saying, "I think it would be great to have Melo on the Lakers." Now that Melo is back and the noise is silenced, who knows what the future will possibly hold. Now let's talk Chris Paul. He's been on a redemption tour all season when the facts are, he should have never had to be. If you watched Chris Paul in Houston, then you know the impact that he has had, not just in Houston, but his entire career. One of the best true point guards to lace him up. One of the highest IQ players possibly the league has ever seen. And in the basketball world, Chris Paul is aging beautifully. He has an OKC team that was thought to be a rebuilding project, right in the hunt. That's big game for somebody that was supposed to be washed up, right? According to Sam Quinn of CBS Sports, the Lakers may seriously consider trading for Chris Paul in the offseason. He reports Paul already played for one Los Angeles team. He was viewed by many as a safety star for the other, but the Lakers traded for Anthony Davis and spent their cap space elsewhere, while the Clippers emptied their vault for Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. By the time both were done, they couldn't even make a trade work under the cap. Now, a trade is at least possible for one, and it's downright tempting for the other. Roster size constraints wouldn't be an issue in the offseason, and some of those players would likely be directed elsewhere anyway. The Lakers would need to include a young asset to entice the Thunder. Kyle Kuzma would suffice, or perhaps he's still viewed as untouchable. Both their 2020 and 2027 picks become tradable immediately after the 2020 NBA draft. So in short, a trade is possible for Chris Paul, but the Lakers would have to give up a ton of key depth, which, in my opinion, is an important asset to their team. Now, going forward, the Lakers getting Chris Paul would be invaluable, and I think there would be a lot of players that would want to come and sign with this Lakers team. This team would, without a doubt, be the team to beat in the NBA playoffs. In the NBA playoffs, stars matter more than ever. At times, you see guys who were all-world bucket getters in the regular season start to disappear. Despite the belief by some, Chris Paul is a big-time postseason player, and his IQ and veteran presence will go a long way on that Lakers team. The same goes for LeBron James, the same goes for Anthony Davis. Look, I know Anthony Davis has only been to the playoffs a few times, but as a Pelicans fan, in the playoffs, I feel like Anthony Davis was his best when he was focusing on being a major lob threat, finishing, and not having to create offense as much. The wonderful thing about Anthony Davis is that if you need him to go get you a bucket, he can. The last time the Pelicans were in the playoffs, I got to watch Anthony Davis absolutely terrorize the Blazers defensively. He was a beast on the boards and also a matchup nightmare. Now you pair that with playoff LeBron James, who always elevates his game, and now you would have Chris Paul and possibly Carmelo Anthony. I think the Lakers would be an incredibly tough team to beat. But of course, they already are. But the fact is that LeBron isn't getting any younger. Keep him healthy and take some of the pressure off of him. Look, as things stand, the Lakers could just run things back next season, pending on the results of this one, and they'd be fine. But as a Melo fan, a Chris Paul fan, and a LeBron fan, I would love nothing more for this group of players to go out and get a ring together. Let me know if you guys feel the moves would be worth it down in the comments below. Maybe there is a small chance that Chris Paul could commit to a buyout in the future. I know he's got an absurd contract, but I know he wants to win. CP3 is the ultimate competitor. Be sure to click the video on the screen right now, guys. It's incredibly dope. Be sure to subscribe. Notice on. I'm D Coop, and I'm out.